Right, let's continue with the lighting. So at the moment we've got a sky dome light which is projecting a white light all the way around, which is a bit flat. So let's go ahead and import a texture. So if we head to the file explorer there, change this to texture and then import this hdr.exr. It's not going to update straight away, so just click render again and that should update in a moment. Sometimes with Arnold you need to click render for it to update fully. There we go. I'm gonna try turning it a bit. Let's have a go. That's nice. Getting the color coming through quite nicely there. Okay, let's take a look at the textures. So we're in Coffee Bean 1. Now at the moment we're importing the displacement map and generating a bump map with it, but we actually do have the bump map, so we're going to import the bump map to use here and then import the displacement map and connect that up there. Okay, so let's first of all, if I take this, the RGB, the output of this map, and correct it directly to the surface here, you'll see you get the kind of unshaded version of the texture. So I know which ones are, because otherwise I don't know which ones are Coffee Bean 1, right? Let's render that again. Just let that load up. So then we can focus on the, on one area. Let's go in here. I'm going to right click, shift, click and drag to create a render region, so we can create iterations a bit faster, connect that back up as to how it was. And in here I'm going to change it from displacement and change it to the bump map. Okay, click render on that again. Because we changed the texture, we probably need to refresh it for it to import the file and generates the TX texture file. Okay, and then I'm going to create a snap of this picture so we can save it and compare any work that we do. Let's try a little bit more. Try and bring out that detail. There we go. If you notice, if you focus on this area, you can see I'm getting this really fine detail, which is nice, breaking up the highlights as well. Cool. And to bring in the displacement, let's take another image node and find that displacement map, and to generate the actual displacement we need to use a vector map there. Connect that up to input vector, to take the vector output and connect it to displacement in the out node. There's no effect yet. Again, click render to force it to update, and it will probably be way too much. Just give it a moment. There we go. See, we get this crazy explosion. So let's try 0.1. Still too big. 0.01. There we go. Much better. So if we compare that to before, you can see it's actually displacing. It's actually changing the geometry itself. You can see it changes the alpha. If you press A and you're with the mouse in the render view, you can look at the alpha and you can see the actual geometry itself is changing. C to go back to the beauty. For this to have to work even better, if we go back to OBJ, select the coffee beans node here, and then in the Arnold tab, and we can add some subdivision to this. Okay, and let's add Catmull Clark, 2 iterations, not 1 but 2, and let's hit render on that again to make sure it works. That should bring out some more detail again. You can see that's working there with the dots going across. Give it a moment. There we go. Okay. There we go. See? With that extra subdivision, it allows much more detail in the bump. Great. Okay. So the files that we've used so far, as I said, we are generating the .tx textures, but we do actually need to change the. We do need to actually import it, so they're being generated, but they're not being used. So for the HDR as well, just change the end at .tx, and the same in the materials. Okay, so this will already be generated. .tx, .tx there, .tx here, and this one too. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. .tx, .tx. It's a bit repetitive, but necessary. And I need to let's stop that for a moment. We don't need to be running the render as we go. This has the displacement already, so I'm gonna shake that off there, create the vector map, drop that there, connect it to the input. I had it on 0.01, connect that. Oop, not to volume, displacement. Cool. And then change this to, I need to actually import image. Find my, we are Coffee Bean 2, so Coffee Bean 2 bump. Get that. I will have to we don't have the .tx yet, so just connect that up to the bump map. I think we'll have to click render on that so that we actually generate the .tx file. So once that starts rendering, we can change the file path there to fetch the .tx file. There we go. Okay, so we should be able to just do .tx there. Perfect. And the last one, Coffee Bean 3, same again. .tx. .tx for this one. This one, shake it off. Bring it up here. .tx vector map. Connect that up. 0.01. Connect that there. Another image node here. Again, I'll have to import the Coffee Bean 3 bump. Where are you? There. Connect that up to that. Render it. There we go. So that's rendering there, so I can change this to .tx. So all of them, displacement there, bump, .tx, spec, and RGB. And all three, I've got my Arnold light, HDR.tx. So great, okay. So let's take a look at everything together with that. Maybe we can go to the full screen, press H, let that render out. Maybe click again. There we go. So that's rendered fully there. It's looking great. Lots of nice, like these tiny details there. Variations in roughness. It's looking really nice. One more thing I'd like to do, I'm just going to make a render region again. So shift and drag. I'm going to turn this progressive render back on. And head back to our materials. And I would like to, let's see, go to Coffee Bean 1 again. Just connect up the color again so I can focus on one of the beans. There we go. Let's take a look at this. Let me see. I'll render the whole thing. Maybe I can find one that's closer. These two down here. Focus on that. Connect it back up to shader like that. Get the base color. There we go. So we haven't looked at the IOI yet. So this will affect how the light bounces. I'm going to take this down a bit. 0.2. Let's see how that looks. See how that's changed? A bit more. 2.5. 2.56. Yeah, it looks much better. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to copy that value, drop it into the others very quickly. There we go. Take a look at the whole thing. Now watch how these reflections change. See that? How there's less light facing the camera. There's a kind of less of a harsh reflection there.